The following Car Geek Hour is a paid advertisement program provided by Castle Motors, and airing of the program is not to be considered endorsement or recommendation. The opinions expressed are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of WMT or Clear Channel Media and Entertainment.
All right, good morning, 600 WMT. It's 10 o'clock, which means it's time for the Castle Motors Car Geek Hour. I'm here with Jay Castle this morning.
The Car Geek.
That's right.
We're going to have a lot of fun today.
Oh, like we do every week. We're always going to have fun.
That's right. It's always a great day. You know, I always remind myself every morning, you know, there's two things I tell myself every morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is?
Oh, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is? That's good. No. I tell myself every morning, I get up and I tell myself that I'm awesome, okay? And that I also tell myself no one can ruin my day without my permission, okay? And this week has been a real trying thing on that. I had somebody try to ruin my day, but I refused to give them permission, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So no one can get permission to ruin my day.
That's right, and we'll get to what that was here in a second. But we do have a phone call to start us this morning.
We got callers right away at the beginning.
We do.
This is awesome.
Yes, we love that. So
let's get these calls.
Yep, real quick, let's give the numbers out: 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or *600 on your U.S. cellular phone. Those are the numbers to get a hold of us this morning. If you want to talk to Jay, you got a question for him, he'd love to hear from you. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go to Ron in Albany this morning on our 800 line. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, guys. Great show.
Thank you.
My comment is I wish your show was 2 hours long.
I wish it was, too.
I always pick up something. It's a great format, great idea.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
The question I've got a 2006 Chevy HHR. It's a great little car with a 2.4.
Yep.
I mean, it runs good. It's waiting on a switch, but you know how that goes.
You're not the only one waiting on the ignition switch.
Yeah.
So.
The question I got for you, I want to know if I'm in the danger zone.
Okay.
And here's the deal. It's got 147,000 miles on it.
Okay.
When are we looking at a timing belt, or are we past that?
That one, I believe, has a timing chain.
Is it a chain?
I'd have to double check on that, but the one way you can tell, and the way I teach my salesmen, is go out and pop the hood, and on the belt side, the front of the engine, if it's aluminum on the front of the engine as far as where the belts are, behind the belts there,
right,
where the timing belt would be, then it's got a chain.
I've had Nissans over the years with the chain. They seem to hold up better.
Yep.
They get oil, I guess, oil them.
Right. If it's got a plastic cover, then it has a belt. Just because of what you said.
It's kind of crowded under there.
Yeah, you can look at them and see, but I'm 90% certain that's got a chain.
Have you done any on those yet?
The timing chains, no.
No, okay.
We've had very, very good luck with those.
I had a Nissan that it started making a funny little noise, and one day coming home from work, the temperature went up a little bit, so I pulled over, and the guide on the top wore, and it cut a hole in the water pump jacket.
Yep.
A little weep hole.
Yep, we've had situations on different vehicles like that too. So
yeah, but this is a great little car. I don't know why they quit making it. I just put another set of tires on it, so I'm gonna keep this for a while.
Sounds good. Keep it maintained, and
doesn't leak oil, doesn't use any oil. It's about 33, 34 going down the interstate, you know.
Yep. Put a half a quart of transmission fluid in every oil change on that to help.
The other thing that caught me by surprise, we did the tranny flush, and there's no dipstick.
Yep, a lot of them did that. No dipstick.
Yeah, they're going to that. Yeah.
Well,
thanks for the advice. Keep up the good show here.
Hey,
I
thanks
really
for
enjoy
calling
it.
in. I really appreciate that.
I'm going to get out your way sometime, take a look at your cars.
Sounds good. Stop in and see me, ask for me, and I'll come down and we'll go look at stuff.
How many locations do you have?
I just have the one right on the
Just
corner.
the one. It's out out on the west side there by the
16th
ballpark.
Avenue and Williams Boulevard, right next to Tyson's.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron. All right, that was Ron in Albany this morning. That frees up our 800 line, 1-800-332-5401. Other numbers are 365-0600 and *600 on your U.S. cellular phone. We're going to go to our 600 line now. We've got Dean in Dubuque this morning. Dean, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good, fine, thanks.
Great. What's going on?
I have a question. You talk about adding transmission fluid to oil change.
Yeah.
On my Volkswagen Jetta, it takes 4.5 quarts. So I add half a quart to that.
You can add a half a quart to it or put 4 quarts of oil and a half a quart of training fluid.
And what does that do? Keep the engine clean?
Yeah, what happens is transmission fluid is high detergent, and it'll help clean up and keep the engine clean. So it's an old trick that I learned. My dad taught me, and we saw the difference in it, and just always done it. So
So every time you change oil, do that.
yeah, whenever you change oil, put 4 quarts of oil in it and a half a quart of transmission fluid in it, and I think you'll find that it lives a lot longer.
All right, I'll try that.
No problem.
Well, thanks for your advice.
No problem. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, bye now.
All right. Thanks for the call this morning, Dean. So that frees up our phone lines. Phone lines are open. Give us a call here this morning. You got a question for Jay? He'd love to hear from you. Wants to help you out.
And we can, if you got a question on buying a car, whatever you want, that's what I do. I love to help. I love to, I'm as you see with the show, I'm not just sitting here saying, well, come to Castle Motors and we'll fix your problem, or come to Castle Motors and I'll sell you a car. I want to help you, and you got a mechanic that you trust and you're working with. I'm not trying to steal you away from them, okay? I want to make sure you get your car fixed and don't pay a bunch of extra money that you don't need to. It's just I've done it for so long and had so much fun and seen things done ways I don't like it, and I just want to help. That's all I want. That's all this show is the great listeners out here in WMT. I just want to help. I want to have fun. So not a problem. So.
And unfortunately, this week, kind of switching gears real quick, wasn't exactly fun for you, I guess. Had a little bit of an incident. Why don't you go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, we had a little incident, and unfortunately, my sales staff made a mistake. They are human, so they made a mistake, and unfortunately, a very bad person that I'm going to call a non-friend of ours, came and stole our 2008 BMW M6. Which is about a $45,000 BMW. It's a little hot rod BMW. Very nice car. The car belonged to my nephew, the NASCAR driver, Landon. It was his car, and when he had a little baby girl, and decided he needed a 4-door instead of a 2-door, so I got him a different car, and I've had this one on a lot. But they helped themselves to it, and I decided, you know what? People do get really mad about stuff and do weird stuff. We just saw a deal on the radio where a car dealer down in Texas, somebody stole keys and then came back the next day and he shot them. And I just decided, you know what? We're going to do it. Castle Motors, we feel that we're a little classier operation. And so what I'm doing is anybody who can give me information and get my car back and the arrest of the person that stole it, I'm going to pay them $3,000. Okay, so you get information to the police department, they get my car back, they arrest the guy for stealing my car, I'm going to pay them $3,000. Okay?
All right.
Now the next fun part is what else I'm going to do is I'm going to make a donation of $3,000 to a charity also once the car is found. Okay, so $3,000 in your pocket, and then $3,000 to your charity of choice. So the way I kind of look at it is, if you stole the car, your buddies, they're going to rat you out for $3,000, aren't they?
I would think so.
Yeah. So if you're listening, if you're the one that stole my car and you're listening to the station, which I don't think you probably are, because your WMT listeners are more quality people than that.
That's right.
But if you're listening, watch out, because I've negotiated with all the radio stations. I'm getting an awesome price on a bunch of ads, and I'm going to run this ad as much as I can. I got an ad out there that talks just about that, and I'm running it on all the stations, and I'm going to catch him. We're going to catch him. So the rest of Cedar Rapids, let's get together and let's take this criminal off the streets.
That's right.
So I don't want anybody else's cars getting stolen. So we're gonna have fun with it. And some charity's going to get $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's a win right there.
There's a charity around here that's going to get $3,000. Whether I find my car or not, when my insurance pays off the car, if I end up turning it in on insurance, have to go that route, when my insurance pays off, I will pay the charity $3,000 no matter what. So you might as well, if you know who did it, you might as well put that $3,000 in your pocket and then choose what charity Otherwise, there's going to be a charity that's going to get $3,000 when this is all said and done.
Yep.
Okay.
So a bad incident, but something good is
It's a
going to come
bad
out of it.
incident, but we're going to make a positive out of this because that's what we do at Castle Motors. We make things positive all the time.
And that's awesome.
That's right. And we got callers, so
We
let's
do.
get to our callers
Yep.
and have some fun.
We've got our hero line now. We've got Chuck. He's driving this morning. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my
Yes.
call.
Drive safely for me, please.
What my question is, I got an 04 Impala with 146,000 on it,
Okay.
and it runs great. I took it in last week to have the oil change and service and all that, and they recommended that I get a tune-up, and I asked them why, because my car ran great.
Yep.
I get 34 miles a gallon, and they said, well, you've got the original wires and plugs in there.
Yep.
And I guess my thinking is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Does it mean I really need a tune-up?
Well,
I have the original equipment?
you know, without maintenance, you set yourself up for failure. Okay.
It's true.
It does have the platinum plugs in it, and you can tell whether they have the factory plugs in them or not if you pull off one of the spark plug wires and there's a little colored dot on the end of the spark plug.
Uh-huh.
If it's got the factory plugs in it, I would definitely replace them. Okay, you're gonna find it's easier on startup. It's actually gonna be easier on the engine, and help to make the engine last longer. And it will help out the fuel economy. I mean, I recommend every 70 to 80 pulling the plugs out, even though the plugs are rated for 100,000. And I get people and they're like, wow, I gained a couple miles per gallon on this, and it starts up better in the winter. You know, probably right now this summer you probably wouldn't have any issues, but coming into this next winter is where you're going to find that it may not start because it may flood because the gap's too wide on the spark plugs, and it's just time. So you set yourself up for failure when you don't do maintenance. So I would definitely do plugs and wires on it, and make sure you're doing a fuel filter too. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, and drive safe for me, please.
All right. Thanks for the call this morning, Chuck. Let's go up to Central City now, where we've got Kathy on the 600 line. Good morning, Kathy.
Hi.
Hi there.
We have a 73 Mach 1 Mustang.
Oh, I love you.
Where's the fuel filter on that? Where do we change that?
The fuel filter. Now, which motor do you have?
Oh, yeah, that's that. Oh, shoot. My husband's not here.
It's probably either a 351 or a 429.
I think it's the 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fuel filter on that, if it's still got the factory one, if it's a 2-barrel, well, actually, either one of them is going to be there. But where the fuel line comes out of the fuel pump and goes up into the carburetor, the fuel filter actually on those there screwed right into the front of the carburetor. It's like a little bullet-looking thing. The fuel line goes into the end of it, and then it actually screws into the carburetor. Most likely you have the 2-barrel version.
Okay, so it's in front of the carburetor.
It's actually attached to the carburetor, but it's screwed in. It's on the passenger side, so it'd be the right-hand side of the engine. Right at the front, you'll see it's got a thread on it. I think it's a 7/8. It's either 7/8 or a 1-inch wrench will take it off. You'll have your line. It'll either have a hard line that bolts into the front of it, or it'll have a hard line that comes up, and then there's a little chunk of rubber hose that goes to this piece. But it looks like a big bullet. It's about the size of your thumb, and screws into the front of the carburetor.
Looks like a big bullet.
Yep.
Okay.
So take your air cleaner off and follow that fuel line. The other times, what they'll do is some of them had just an inline filter, and it'll be still on that right-hand side and just coming out of the carburetor right in that area. They always put the fuel filter on those when they had a mechanical fuel pump. You want to put the fuel filter between the fuel pump and the carburetor.
Okay, so it's in the carburetor area.
Yep.
So, my husband's fairly mechanically inclined, so if I put him in the right direction, I think he'll probably be able to find it. So.
Awesome. What color's your Mach 1?
Oh, it's red.
Oh, awesome. Red with the black stripes. Probably got the ram air hood. You got the rear deck lid spoiler on it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. We
yeah.
even got a chicken catcher on the front. So.
Chicken catcher, the front spoiler? Okay, cool. Well, go to.
Yeah, I want to drive it, so we got to get it going.
Awesome. Well, send me some pictures on my website.
I could do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
mycargeek.net, and there's a place there that you can submit pictures. Send me some pictures of that. I love Mach
Okay.
ones.
Well, who knows? Maybe if I'm out and about, we'll just stop by.
Hey, that's even better. I love to see them.
Okay.
So, sounds
Well,
good.
thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Kathy. It is it's a nice Mustang.
Yeah. 71 to 73. That was actually my brother's favorite years. And we've had them all. I mean, Boss 351s, the 429 Super Cobra Jets, the 69 and 70 are my absolute favorite year. So someday I'm gonna have 69 Boss 429. That's my goal car. That's I had 428 Mach 1s and 351 Mach 1s, and I'm a Mustang geek. I love them. So awesome. That's
All
cool.
right.
So don't forget, like I said, we were just talking about my website, mycargeek.net. You can go there. You can submit questions if you're shy and don't want to be on the radio, but got a question about your car.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to go to that, and I will get back with you ASAP on it. If you got a cool car, you got any car, you got your car you're proud of, send me a picture of it. I got a picture of Cecil's truck, his Platinum F-150, putting his boat in that he bought from me, and he lives in South Carolina. So it's not just limited to hot rods and that type of stuff. You're proud of your car. That's what excites me. That's what's fun. I love them. I love cars.
All right, good stuff. 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. Cellular phone. Give us a call this morning here. Got a question for Jay. He'd love to hear from you, wants to help you out. So we'll get to your phone calls more here next on 600 WMT. There it is.
Oh, man, I love the Beach Boys. Everybody knows that.
Good stuff.
That's good stuff.
That is.
Back when music was good.
Yes, I miss that era of
There you
music.
go. Well, we got some calls coming in.
We do. We got
That's
some calls.
awesome, but we still got lots of lines open.
Yes, so give us a call here real quick. Those numbers, 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. Cellular phone. We got a couple callers on hold. They've been patiently waiting. We do appreciate that, so we're going to get right to it. We're going to Kim in Walford. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a 2001 Buick LeSabre
Okay.
that the gas gauge quit on me.
Uh-huh.
It's a little inconvenient.
Yep.
Do you know approximately how much that would cost? Someone said between $300 and $400. Is it labor expensive? Is that why it costs so much?
Well, we need to diagnose it first. There's two things that can be causing your problem. On the GM, they had some instrument cluster problems with just the gauge, and if that's the case, then you're right in that area. You're about a $250 fix. If it's the sending unit, which is in the gas tank with the fuel pump, you got to do a fuel pump module assembly, and you can be into a $600-700 deal with labor because you got to take the gas tank all out of it and everything.
All right. Well, it's a good thing I have a trip odometer.
There, you know what? That's what my son, his first car, my oldest son, was a Impala, and the gas gauge didn't work, and that's what I went down. I filled it up with gas, and I said, "Here you go, son." I said, "You can go 140 miles, and then you better put gas in it." I said, if you go only 140 miles and you put gas in it every time, I said, you'll never have an issue. And you know what? He drove that thing for 2.5 years, and the only person that ever ran out of gas was his mom. Jumped in it one day, and she took off, and he had gone just a little over. Well, he'd gone about 150 miles, and she ran out. So, yeah. But yep.
Yeah, there was a couple of times, but this has been like for over a year. So I keep my receipts now when I put gas in, so I know how much I put in and when I put it in.
There you go. That works.
So I guess that's better than spending all the money because I have $167,000 on it. So.
There you go. It's probably not worth doing that. Just if you can set the tripometer and work that, that's the way I would go.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Kim, for the call this morning. Let's go to our hero line now. That's star 600 on a U.S. Cellular phone. We've got Ray in Cedar Rapids. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm nice.
Great. What can we do for you?
I've got a 2000 Blazer.
Okay.
and it's leaking oil right up towards the front of the motor. And I look down in there, I can see where the lines coming in. I believe they're probably power steering lines.
They're probably a bigger diameter line.
Yep.
And it's the oil cooler line.
Okay.
Those have a external oil cooler that runs from the oil filter adapter on the back of the block. It's a metal line, and then it turns into rubber, so it flexes, and it runs to the engine oil cooler, which is part of the radiator. And there's two ways of fixing that. You can buy the new lines from GM. That's the most expensive way. Or the way I prefer is I take the lines off, remove the lines, and take them over to Custom Hose. And they will replace the hoses, and they actually put a better hose than what the original equipment is, and put them back on. And if you do the custom hose way, you'll never replace them again.
Well, I've got about 190,000 miles on it, and it runs like a dream, and it's just perfect good condition yet. So I don't want to. So give me, you know, approximately what it cost me.
If you take the lines off and take them over, I think it's about a $30 or $40 deal. If you buy the lines from GM, it's about a $300 deal.
Yeah.
So take the lines off, go over to Custom Hose, and tell them Jay Castle sent you over. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks for that call this morning, Ray. Let's go to our 600 line now. We've got Paul here in Cedar Rapids. Good morning, Paul.
Hi.
Hi there.
I just got a question about my Corolla.
Great. What year?
It's a 09.
Okay.
And, back in about 1962, I was driving a 52 Chevy.
Yeah.
And it had the loose tappets. Do you know that sound?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Well, that's what my Corolla sounds like in the morning when I first started up.
Yep.
When I just first started up, it does that a little bit. And I was wondering if that's a sign of something going wrong, or it hasn't. It didn't do it all this time, and now all of a sudden it started doing it.
Yep. What that's a sign of? Are you running the correct weight oil in it?
Well, I think I am. It's jeepers.
Make sure
5W20.
Yeah. Okay. So make sure you're running the correct weight of oil. How many miles does it have on it? Did you say?
40,000.
Okay. They had Toyota had a sludge problem. Okay.
Okay.
What kind of intervals are you doing on your oil changes? How many miles are you going?
5,000.
Okay. And are you in town driving or highway driving?
Mostly in town.
Okay, you need to change that first off and get that down to 3,000 miles on that car, because the oil passages are very small, and Toyota's got a huge sludge problem. These newer motors, they run hot, and with the oil, it gets the sludge buildup in it, especially when you're going that little bit longer on an in-town drive. The thing that I would do to help you out on that is get yourself to where you go down to 3,000 miles on an oil change, but go out today and put a quart of transmission fluid in the engine, okay, in the crankcase, and and leave it. You're going to be a little bit over full. Don't worry about that, okay? And I think you'll find probably in a couple weeks you'll find that it's not clicking when you start up in the morning, okay? Transmission fluid will help clean it. You don't need to spend money on any of this mystery snake oil. Put a quart of transmission fluid in with the engine, and then at the next oil change, have them, if it's a 5-quart system, have them put 4 quarts of oil and put a quart of transmission fluid in the engine. But change your intervals to 3,000 miles if you're just in town driving.
And I should put that transmission oil in there every time then?
Yes, put the transmission oil in there every single oil change, and that'll help keep the motor clean and keep those passages clean. Okay, so I think we lost you, but go out and put the transmission fluid in it today. So, okay?
All right.
Awesome.
That frees up another phone line, 365-0600, 1-800-332-5401, or star 600 on your U.S. cellular phone. Give us a call here this morning. Jay would love to hear from you. Wants to help you out here.
I love to hear from people. These WMT listeners, Michael,
They're awesome.
They are the best there ever was. You know, I get reminded from them every day. I get one that calls me or comes out to the shop and sees me, and I want to thank these listeners all the time. They make my day so awesome every day. So we got Bob in Cedar Rapids.
Yep, we've got Bob. Oh, we got
a break.
Yeah, we got to step outside.
Okay.
So Bob, if you just want to hang tight for us, we'll get to you as soon as we
we'll
come
get
back.
you right away. You're first guy.
Yep, we'll be back. 600 WMT.
All right. Oh, where'd our music go?
Right there.
There we go.
Got it.
Okay, we got the lines. We got lines like crazy.
We do. We have got
phones.
full phone lines, and Bob has been patiently waiting on a hero line, so we're going to get to Bob. Good morning, Bob.
Yeah, hey, I got a 99 O's of Aurora with 47,000 on it.
Okay.
And I get to 55 miles an hour, between 55 and 70.
Uh-huh.
It shimmies a little bit.
Okay.
But I had all four tires balanced.
Okay.
Huh? What's the problem?
Well, do you feel the shimmy in the steering wheel or in your butt?
Yeah. On the car, really. The steering wheel really don't shake.
Okay. Have they balanced all four wheels or just the front ones?
All four of them.
Okay. It's possible we got a broken belt in a tire. You're in Cedar Rapids, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you stop by the dealership and let me go for a ride with you? And I'll give you a little better insight on it. I won't charge you anything.
Okay. Hey, man, I got another problem.
Okay, what's that?
When I drive it and then when I get out of it, it smells like gas.
Okay. Is your check engine light on?
No.
Okay. It may be just the vent solenoid that is releasing a little bit of the vapor. But you haven't seen anything on the ground, or have you popped the hood to make sure there's no leak or anything?
Yeah, I looked. I didn't see any.
Okay. It might just be the vent solenoid releasing a little vapor with it being warm out and everything now. So, but bring it by and let me go for a ride with you. Like I said, I won't charge you anything, and that way I can feel what the shake is, and I can look at some different stuff for you and tell you how to get it fixed for you. Okay?
Okay. Where you at?
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard on the southwest side, right next to Tyson's. You know where that is?
Yep.
Okay. You can't miss me. I'll be there about 1 o'clock today.
Well, I can't make it today. How about Monday?
I'm there all day Monday.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All
Awesome.
right. Thanks, Bob, for that call. All right, let's go to Central City now. We've got Barbie on the line. Good morning, Barbie.
Barbie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, we have a 2000 Chevy Silverado Z71.
Uh-huh.
About 68,000 miles on it.
Perfect.
We have been noticing that when we drive it for our 30-minute road trip to Cedar Rapids, runs great. If we stopped off at, let's say, the drugstore, we're in there for 10 minutes, come back out, go to take off, it loads down and just sputters and coughs and cuts out. What could that be?
It sputters and coughs, like when you're driving or just when you first start it up?
It usually takes, 3 or 4 minutes to get the bugs worked out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. There's a couple different issues we've had there. I would trying to rack my mind here for a second.
The husband has changed the fuel pressure sensor in the past, and it seemed to take care of the problem for a little bit, but always came back.
Okay. The one way you can tell whether you're having a fuel issue, does it do it all the time for you? I mean, every time when you come into town, you shut it off for 10 minutes, and then the next time you start it up, it's running crappy for just a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. The way you can tell whether you got a fuel issue is to turn the key when you go out to start it up. Turn the key on so the lights come on. Shut it off. Turn it on. Shut it off. Do that 5 times.
Without actually starting the truck.
Without actually starting the truck.
Okay.
If it runs fine once you start it, then you know you have a fuel issue. Chances are what you have, though, is, are you losing any coolant? Have you noticed any coolant loss?
Nope.
Really? Okay. Say the other thing that can be causing that is if you got just a little bit of, those have some intake gaskets that leak and a little bit of head gasket issues where they'll leak a little bit of antifreeze. Once it got warmed up and it's got pressure on it, it'll leak a little bit of antifreeze into a cylinder. And that will cause it to run crappy like that for 3 to 5 minutes and then come out of it. So,
okay.
I would take and go out and on the recovery tank on the side of underneath the hood, I'd take a magic marker and mark where my coolant line is when it's cold here.
Okay.
And that way, and keep an eye on that, because it's just losing, it's just starting, it's just losing a little bit, enough that you're not noticing it go down enough. But put a mark on it and check it out, because you may have an intake or a head gasket that's starting to leak.
Okay.
Okay.
All
so
righty.
Check that with the fuel, and then go the other way. It's possible you got a tune-up, but tune-up's not going to really run bad for 5 minutes and come back out of it. So,
okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll give that a shot. Thank you.
Sounds good. Call me if you got any more questions at the dealership.
All righty.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for the call this morning, Barbie. Let's go now to our 800 line. We've got Jerry in Fairbank this morning. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everything in Fairbanks?
Pretty good. Pretty warm.
Awesome. That's what we like. What can we do for you?
I've got a 2002 Escalade with 120,000 miles on it, and I've had it for about a year.
Okay.
And every time I put it in drive and start out and get up to about 10 mile an hour, there's something that cycles. Is there an air pump on there or something?
What's it? It cycles.
Well, it pulls the engine down real bad, and it cycles twice. It'll go on for about three seconds. It'll go off for about 3 seconds, and then it'll come on again, and then it won't do it while I'm driving it until I shut it off and leave it parked for 5 minutes. Then it'll do it again.
Now, if you started the vehicle up and just sat there for a couple minutes, would it cycle before you're even driving it?
No, it won't.
Okay, so that eliminates our air ride suspension. It's possible it's still got the air ride suspensions adjusting once you start going down the road, but I'm trying to think what else those. What year did you say it was again?
2002.
Okay. And it cycles on for 3 seconds and off, and then back on and off again.
Yeah, and the first time it's getting so bad now, it almost feels like it's going to kill the engine off. It pulls down so bad.
Really?
Yes.
We need to be looking. I would be looking at ground wires first. If it's pulling it down,
wires?
Yeah. If it's pulling it down that hard, that means we're losing some juice somewhere. So I'd start looking at my ground connections, at my battery, my ground going to the body, the ground going to the engine. Make sure we don't have an issue there.
Okay.
It's possible the suspension pump's kicking on for 3 seconds, but it shouldn't pull down the motor unless it's starving for juice as far as power or ground. So I would go through and look at all my grounds. The other thing you could do is if you had a old pair of jumper cables, carefully put them to where you put it on the negative side of the battery, and then put both from the positive and the negative on the battery, on the negative side of the battery, and then hook one to the engine and one to the body. Okay, so you're making a new ground wire and see if it does.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so give that a try and give me a call at the dealership if you have any other questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. All right. Still got some phone lines open. We got some people on hold. We need to step aside one last time really quick, but we'll get to these phone calls when we come back here on 600 WMT.
WMT.
All right.
Ooh, I can start singing to that one.
Yep, Little Deuce Coupe.
That's right.
All right, 76 here at Broadcast Park, 600 WMT. We're talking with Jay Castle here at the Castle Motor Car Geek Hour. We got a couple calls. We're going to get to them. They've been patiently waiting. We do appreciate that. So we're going to start with David in Cedar Rapids. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a 2008 Jeep Liberty.
Okay.
And I'm having a problem with my air.
Okay.
It will just barely cool when I have it on full.
Okay.
I don't know if that's because it's low on coolant or, on
Freon, yeah.
Freon, yeah.
When was the last time you've had the air conditioning serviced on it?
I've had it for 3 years, and I have not had it. It's worked great.
Okay.
And it was end of last summer, early autumn, when I was still using air conditioning.
Yeah.
I began to notice that it wasn't doing quite as good a job, but I had it turned, up, and I didn't think that much of it.
We need to take it in and have it checked out.
It doesn't make any noise or
Nope.
anything. I mean, it just, and the only way I can get any cool air, and then it's very little,
Right.
is have it on full.
Yep. The air conditioning system is very, very high pressure, and there is lots of different connections. There's probably 15 different connections in the system there, and they all got either a little thin gasket or a rubber O-ring, and after a couple years, they will seep just a little bit. Not enough that you'll see it.
Yeah, because I've looked it over carefully and have.
Yep. And what you'll do is, whoever does your service for them,
Okay.
make sure they put a dye in it.
Do
Okay.
do you do that?
Yeah, we do that stuff.
I could bring it out there and you take care of that?
Yep, we take care of that. We put a dye in it, and that way, if it ever does, you can see the leak under a black light then, wherever it's at.
I see.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All you got to do is call our the main line, the 396-2698, and the beautiful Shelley will put you through to whoever you want to talk to. She'll get you into the service and get an appointment, whatever you
Get
want.
through to you.
Get through to me. There you
right.
go.
Call him. All right, let's go now.
Funny thing is, she can always find me.
No matter where you are.
No matter where I'm at. She knows where I'm at. She must have GPS on me or
Yep.
something. So let's get to Harry in
Yep.
Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
here.
Harry's been patiently waiting, so we appreciate that, Harry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Okay, when you change engine oil, you add a half a quart of transmission fluid,
Yes, I do.
even in a newer car?
I do it on everything.
Okay. What about adding a little bit to your gas tank every once in a while?
On a normal car, no. On a diesel, yes. Especially with this new low sulfur diesel fuel.
Right.
I definitely on a diesel, but on gas car, no.
Okay.
No need to.
All right. That's all I need to know. I appreciate your...
Awesome. No problem at all.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling
right.
in.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Harry. All right, so we got a few minutes left, so if you want to get in a phone call
Definitely
really quick.
call and, yeah, no problem.
Yep.
We'll answer any questions we can.
Yep.
So, hey, we got a little fun stuff that happened this week, too.
Mhm.
You know, it's graduation time, and I want to congratulate all the graduates out there. You know, we're big at the Benton community area, but Jefferson, Kennedy, Wash, Prairie, all them. But even more special was my little ice princess, my first niece. She graduated last night, Echo Castle. So Echo graduated from Jefferson, and then Kelsey, our receptionist that covers for my wife when my wife's off, Kelsey graduated too. So congratulations to both you guys. I know they got big futures going on. So Kelsey's going to University of Iowa, and she's on the dance squad. And Echo, she's got a couple different things going, but it looks like she's probably going to Denver, Colorado to school.
Very cool.
But nope, my little ice princess, my first niece, she's a big ice skater, and she's always been my little ice princess. And she graduated, so I got two more princesses coming up that'll graduate here in a few years, but she was my first one.
Yeah.
So kind of exciting.
So I'm sure you got some parties to go to this weekend then.
Yeah. So congratulations to all the graduates.
Yes.
That's a neat thing.
Definitely. So let's touch on a little bit what we talked about earlier in the show about kind of the little incident that we had this week.
Yes, the guy that tried to ruin my day, but I won't give him permission.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's kind of a rusty color, rust red. They call it Indiana Rust is the actual color. Red two-door BMW M6. It's running around here, and it's got a non-friend of mine that's driving it because he stole it from me. And if you can get me information that gets me my car back and leads to his conviction, I'm going to pay you $3,000. And I'm going to give a donation to $3,000 to a charity. So if you know who he is, or if you're that person and you happen to be listening to the station, which I don't think you are, but you might be, I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get my car back, and I'm going to get you. And the great part is there's going to be a charity that's going to get $3,000. And if you're the friend of him and you turn him in, which is the right thing to do, you're going to get $3,000 too. So don't think your friends won't turn you in for $3,000. So I'm going to get you.
So if they have any information, how do they go through
can-
the channels?
Well, the proper way would be to call the police department, or you can call the dealership and tell them it's urgent. You need to talk to Jay right away at 396-2698. and it'll get through to me, and we will take all the information down, and I will get it handled.
Mm-hmm.
So let's catch this guy. Let's all work together, Cedar Rapids, and let's take a thief off the street.
That's right.
So Castle Motors will prosecute 100% to the fullest on this deal.
So if that guy's out there and he's listening, you better beware.
You're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
You're gonna get caught. I'm gonna get you. So one of your friends, your friend might not be talking to his sister right now. He may be calling the dealership looking for me. So don't trust him if he says he's calling his sister, because he might probably not. He's gonna collect the $3,000 and you're going to jail.
That's right.
So yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
All right. So we're talking with Jay Castle here with Castle Motors. It's the resident car geek here. He's got a website, mycargeek.net, right?
Yep, mycargeek.net. Call the dealer or castlemotors.com. We have anything and everything you'd ever want for a vehicle. Greg and Gerald were just telling me today they have a huge selection of less expensive cars, stuff that has gone through our shop. We don't keep a lot of the real inexpensive stuff, but when we get one trade-in that's a really, really good car, something that'll fit up to our standards, we do keep it. And Greg was telling me this morning, and Gerald, they said, hey, we have a whole bunch of, $6,000 and under cars right now that are extremely good cars. So come out and see the boys out there, and I'll be out there after 1 o'clock today, and you can come see me, and we'll help you out any way we can.
That's right. It sounds like a good car for, a graduate.
Great car for a graduate. We got inexpensive cars for graduates. We got expensive cars for graduates. Depends on where they're graduating from.
Yep.
So I always say if I don't have it or I can't get it, you probably don't need it. So.
All right. So real quick, then go ahead. Location, how we can get a hold of you.
We're on the corner of 16th Avenue and Williams Boulevard, right next to the great big beautiful remodeled Tyson's. And 396-2698, and the beautiful Shelley or Kelsey will get you right through to whoever you want to talk to.
All right, so you're going to be out there after 1 o'clock today?
I'll be out there after 1 o'clock and be there till 5 today.
All right, so stop out there and see Jay today. He'd love to talk to you,
come
chit-chat.
See me. If nothing else, just come and let's just talk and have some ice cream or some of Shelley's fresh homemade cookies.
There we go. If you got a nice car, bring it out. I know you'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see your cars.
Yeah. Put it up on your website there, mycargeek.net.
Sounds awesome.
So, all right, Jay, always a pleasure to have you here.
We'll see you next week.
Yes,
same time, same place.
We'll be downtown.
We're going downtown.
Week. Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're doing the farmers market next week.
Awesome.
So it'll be downtown. I'll talk to Randy. Make sure he gets information out to you about that.
Sounds good. We'll be here though.
All right. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you.